Well, James Courtney, fancy seeing you here at Freycinet Lodge. What have you been up to in the last day or so?
Just a little bit of team bonding. It's been beautiful with all the other Ford drivers. I got in trouble for hitting too many of them, so I think they brought us all together to try and gel.
Oh, okay. So have you brokered any deals? Are you all going to look after each other this year on track?
Yeah, I was selling sort of crash damage towards the end when it's in the finals. I sort of put my hands up and said, look, it's my last lap around this year, so I'm willing to throw it out there. But no, it was good brokering all that. It was good the Ford guys sort of gave us a little bit of lay of the land where they see us and what they want us to do. But yeah, I think the end of the NASCAR season where they have that final sort of run where they all try and help each other, I think that's what they're trying to do. But yeah, I said I'm for sale.
Right, well, let me know how that goes for you over the next couple of rounds, because we'll obviously get a clearer picture as to what that's going to look like by the end of the year. So we'll stay tuned for the rest of that story. Are you heading to Symmons Plains?
I am. Do you need a lift?
I do need a lift. Can I jump in with you?
You can.
Okay.
I warn you, my singing and music choices are horrendous.
Interesting. Okay, I'll be the judge of that. Let's go. Well, James, it's nice to catch up because we actually are not going to have too many more of these opportunities. You're on the farewell tour. How's it going so far?
Good. I'm not dying. Well, I hope I'm not, but hopefully I'm still around in some capacity. But it is unusual this year, you know, as I do leave events, that it's going to be the last time I'm there full time. So I always loved coming down to Tassie. You know, it's a cool little place to come. Through that COVID period, I spent a lot of time down here, which was nice. But yeah, it is an unusual feeling. Probably as the weekend's going on, I don't really notice it. It's more at the end of the weekend when you leave, you're just like, oh, all right, that's it for you know, Tassie, or that was it for Taupo. So yeah, it is a weird feeling.
Are you retiring? I mean, what is next year?
I'm not exactly a grey nomad just yet.
How is that shaping up for you? What are your plans next year? Are you going to be co-driving? You said you still want to be involved in some capacity. Have you got any idea about what that might look like?
Yeah, look, I to be honest, I wanted to just mic drop and just disappear. Yeah, at the moment I'm sort of saying, look, once it's done, the racing, I'll stop, because it's kind of, it's a weird thing, the co-driving, because you sort of come in as a co-driver initially and you're doing all the donkey work, so you're betting brakes and gearboxes and all that sort of stuff. Not the fun stuff. You're in the middle of the day in the race where it's boring, you're sort of rolling around, and then the main guy gets in and does the good bit. But I don't know, for me it's a hard sell to go back that way. I don't know if I'm sort of looking at it the wrong way, but look, I think once it comes up closer to the end and I do realise that cold turkey thing is going to be tough, I probably will change my mind. But at the moment, yeah, I think maybe just vanish.
The mic drop, I like the concept of that. But knowing you're a really dynamic guy and you like to be busy, and you've picked up your side hustle, which is real estate at the moment. Is that something then that becomes full time for you? I mean, I know you're going to need to be busy. You've got 4 kids, so you've got plenty going on.
It's a lot of school fees.
But what does the next, I guess, career look like for you then, if it's not in the paddocks in some capacity?
Look, to be honest, my ultimate, I'd love to come and like do stuff with you and doing the telecast stuff. I absolutely love telling the story of our sport. My whole life has been motorsport. I'm super passionate about it. You know, I get as excited watching the race as if I'm in it, and I've spent my life telling that story. And I think for me the ultimate thing would be you know, doing the real estate stuff, because I enjoy that side of things as well, and then staying involved in the racing with doing some telecast stuff. So please.
Well, I might know someone, and maybe I can put in a good word. I'll let you know at the end of the weekend. You've just sold the old boss of Supercar, Tony Cochran's house. True story. That's a bit of a full circle moment. Tell us a little bit about that.
I called Tony and I said, hey TC, how's it all going? I reckon I've got someone to buy your house. He sort of had a little bit of a laugh. Anyway, and he sort of said, oh, okay, look, I'll let you bring someone through. And so then that was on like the Wednesday, we took the buyer through on the Saturday. As we left, Tony said to me, he goes, oh no, they weren't interested, they don't want it. And I said, mate, look, she loved it. They're 100% super interested, trust me, they like it. And Tony's like, oh look mate, I'm a pretty good businessman, I learned how to read people, she's not interested, I'm surprised if she calls back. bang, within the hour they called and wanted to put in an offer, and then we had that deal done by 10 o'clock that night. And I remember calling Tony, going back to his house, and with him and Thea, and I was like, guys, you better get ready to start packing because you're moving. And he likened it. He goes, look, this is a lot like Paul Morris winning Bathurst. He goes, no one gave the guy a chance, and he did it. And he said, it's the same with you with this deal. So it's pretty funny. I've been doing this real estate thing 6 months, and I've sold the most expensive property in Queensland in like the last 18 months. And it is wild. I do love doing it, and it's such a rush doing that, like a deal that big.
I know too, in the latter part of your career, you've enjoyed the opportunity to be part of growing the Blanchard racing team. You were really passionate about coming in and helping grow some talent across lots of different departments, but also helping to have young guys come in and work alongside you as drivers. What have been the biggest challenges for you in that project, and how are you feeling about it now as it's all coming to an end?
Yeah, I sort of had a taste of it at Tickford through that time with Cam and Thomas, and I really enjoyed that. I spent so much of my career just hating my team, not hating them, but challenging and working so hard to beat them was the main focus. So to then have that mindset and that shift, I really enjoyed that time through those years with Tickford and seeing those guys grow, and now seeing that, like, I genuinely am happy for those guys when I see them win. To then be able to have that second chance to do that team thing has been, look, I'm not going to lie, it has been horrifically difficult. It is such a challenge. You can't just roll in and grab a 20-odd blokes and say, hey, let's go start a race team and we'll just buy a AAA car and we'll be fine. It is so much about the people you have around you. It's just how everyone deals with things differently, and that's a big part of what I've learnt with trying to grow a team and work with everyone. But it's been quite the process.
So as you come to the end of all of this, how are you trying to milk every last little second and find the positive and the little wins and the successes?
Well, driving slower makes it last longer at the moment.
Okay, so you figured that out.
No, look, it is so strange because some of the stuff that we have to do with the race, it's not fun. This year, with it being the last time, I've sort of, as I roll up each time, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll go do that appearance, I'll do this, and they're like, well, you're so obliging. But it's just,
who are you?
Yeah, it's just savouring all those moments. Yeah. It's like we spoke about before with kids. Having kids the second time around for me has been so different because those little milestones and you're so much more present and all that sort of stuff, and so I am sort of, my eyes are so much more open this last season, just watching and enjoying all those small moments.
Yeah. So is there any one particular thing you're really looking forward to doing this year? Any particular racetrack you're really looking forward to going to and trying to squeeze every last bit out of?
I think probably this last year's Bathurst. It's the one that's always eluded me. We've always been podiums but never won. It is our Melbourne Cup or Grand Final, whatever you want to call it, and it's such a special place. And it feels so amazing to drive the car around there, especially like that top 10 shootout. When you have the track to yourself, everyone's there cheering. It's such an amazing moment. And for me, that's probably the moment I'm looking forward to most. I've just got to get in the 10, and to be able to have that moment, I think for me would be really good. So that's a pretty cool experience, and to have that one more time would be really nice.
When you sort of contemplate that last moment in the car in Adelaide, and you walk away and it is all done, have you thought about any of the things that you are going to miss about the game?
I'll miss everything about it. It's been my life. It's what I've woken up every morning since I was 7 years old wanting to do and doing. So there isn't one element of it that I won't miss. I think the hardest thing that's going to be to walk away from is that start. It's sitting on the grid. There's the engine's at whatever it is, 7,250 RPM. I probably got that wrong. Whatever it is, I just put my foot flat. That moment where the engine's like everyone around you's on the limiter, you're so focused on that red light, you're finding the bite point, and it's like the whole world goes quiet, but yet it's so violent, and you're so focused, and then as soon as that light goes out, it's like an explosion of just like wildness, like the emotion to try and control yourself with the release of the clutch to get the start right, and as the launch, you're in that launch phase, and you're sort of releasing the clutch to control the wheel spin. And then, like, whilst all that's happening, you're then looking in your mirrors to see where everyone is. You're looking ahead. There's just so much to process, and it's such a cool feeling. And then, that first lap where you're just able to pass guys and lunge, and you're sort of, as the older guy, you're sort of watching further up the road, and you can see things unfolding, and you get a few cheeky little spots, have a bit of a laugh to yourself. So that's probably going to be the hardest. You'll never be able to replace that. And the hardest thing with going to be a co-driver is I'll never get to experience that again. Like, if you did do co-driving, you're not allowed to start. So it's I think that's going to be another thing that's going to be like you're never going to be able to replace it. So I don't know, I'll have to start skydiving or something.
Well, I hope you enjoy this last weekend in Tassie. Anything can happen at Symmons Plains, so you never just know. You've never won there. Perhaps this is going to be your weekend where the racing gods smile down on you and the seas part and you're just going to blaze on through.
Perfect. Let's lock that in, Jess.
I'll talk to my people. I'll see what I can do. I'll see you there. Thanks, James. Good luck.
Thank you.